Hi, how is everyone today? Oh my goodness, you all are in for a treat. This is our How to Heal Naturally holiday edition. Okay, and we have Frank Puglia with us. Okay, he's over there in Canada, but he's Italiano, which you love. So there's going to be a lot of passion here. And he's working on a book called The Art of Life Management. And as you can see when he talks, that he takes a lot of the spiritual mechanisms of what he's learned over the years, starting really, really young, and bringing this into thought leaders and business people, coaches, all the things. So it's going to be just a really powerful interview. So I really want you all just to really just sit back and absorb. And we also want you to know too, you are not alone in your journey. Okay, so we are here for you. Oh my goodness, Frank, thank you so much for being here with us. How fun is this?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. That's great.
So tell us, how did you get started on this journey? I mean, this is like a really powerful, all that you do.
Well, the art of life management, I'm going to start with that. It came as a result of COVID-19. Many people, I realized, in the family and friends were really affected by it.
Mhm.
But to me, it didn't change much because I was working out of my home. So I was kind of isolated. I was used to that. And I had found that balance in my life where I was able to tune in, tune out, interact with people through Zoom on the internet. So that was just normal.
Yeah.
So I started doing some videos and I put them out there on Facebook, trying to help people to boost their immune system, especially the breathing part,
Right.
because a lot of people were not used to that. So, and I thought I had some more time and I was able to start putting together a lot of things that I learned in my life that I used in my own life to get a better life. Because at the end of the day, if you want a better life, you got to start making better decisions.
Yes.
And the decision making process that I learned both in an official way through my professional life and indirectly in our family life, it's really something that is very powerful, and a lot of people don't appreciate it as much as they should. The power to choose, one of the greatest power in the universe, probably after love.
Yes, no, that's so good after love, because love is definitely very
Love
powerful.
is number one.
So was this something that you grew up with? Like, was your family just very intentional and aware in all of that?
Well, that's a funny thing. My family is not tuned in into what I mean, they don't disagree. They look at me kind of funny. I'm going, why was I born in this family? Like,
Yeah.
not connecting. Even though my mother is very spiritual, I wouldn't say religious.
Right.
There is that spiritual element that I can discuss with them, and I don't get any pushback. Some of them are just, but they know that's big. And really started when I was a kid. When I was very young, I was always observing and I wanted to know things. I wanted to learn. I remember hiding away under the stairs with a candlelight, reading the Italian classics
Yeah.
like Plato, Aristotle, and reading books that were way advanced for my age. I was 12, 13, 14.
Wow.
In grade 3, my teacher was saying, who wrote this for you when we were writing little poems or things? I said, nobody, I did. That's way more advanced. Somebody wrote that for you. I said, no, because I read a lot. So I was picking up things and I would write it. So I always liked that. There's insatiable appetite, thirst for knowledge. So by the time I was 14, 15, I read most of the classics, Greek, Roman classics. And I remember reading the book or The Prince by Machiavelli,
Yes.
15 years old.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius,
Wow.
Meditations. By the time I came to Canada at 16,
Yeah.
the first book I bought was by Yogananda, the biography of a yogi. I really got into that. And I started to do my walking meditation, which was amazing. If that's all you take away from this discussion today is how to do walking meditation, you can transform your life.
Oh, that's good. No, that is really good. So, so it sounds like it was just like energetically just coming towards you. You know, what you put out is what you attract, right? And what
Yeah.
you're seeking is seeking you. So it was like, it's just kind of wild how you found yourself in this space, you know? So did you, like once you started getting more and more involved and then you were getting into your walking meditation, which I love that. You'll have to share with our audience in a minute what that means exactly. But how did you take that into actually turning it into what you have going on now?
Yeah. Well, I was always sort of clear what I wanted in life. I remember making a life plan when I was 18. I still
Yeah.
have it. By age 60, I will have this, achieve this, and that on a piece of paper.
Right.
Once in a while, I would tune in and say, here's what I want. Here's what I want to achieve.
Right.
Uh, so to me, it was always pursuit of excellence, improving myself. When I was very young in school in Italy, they would teach us, the Greek, Latin, Roman philosophy, mente sana in corpore sano. And I remember from a spiritual perspective, we were getting the Catholic teaching 2 hours a week. And the priest was a priest. They used to tell us, you need to obey, you need to. And I'm going, I think I need to discover,
Huh?
my path by looking inside, because after all, if the kingdom of God is within you, don't you think I should know myself better? Therefore, through my knowledge, the Gnostic concept to knowing myself, I will reach God. And I remember he used to get so upset. No, you get it backwards. You got to listen to the word and read the gospel. I'm going, yeah, I will do that too, but I need to know who I am.
Yeah.
And I remember I knew intuitively that was the path, because so it was there already. So to some extent, I just needed to follow and do what I felt inside I needed to do. Um, so that enabled me at a very young age to work during the day, go to school at night, to help my brother to school in Rome, my older brother, because we're a family of 9. I was sending money home, helping them, and my friends were saying, "Look, you need help from your family." I said, "Yeah, well, your family's in a different situation. You can live with mommy and daddy. I can't." I left to help the family, 9 people. So, and at the same time, I was going to school at night, improving myself. So I was always disciplined that way. I had to learn discipline at a very young age
Yeah.
to delay my own self gratification and the things I wanted, because there was a bigger picture, a bigger plan. And that's how I achieved certain things. Within a couple of years, my younger brother came, and together we bought a house
Oh,
at
wow.
19. And we had that paid off in 5 years when interest rates were 18%. I
Yeah.
remember doing a lot of overtime, all the overtime I could get, double shift
Wow.
sometimes. It was construction work, physical work.
Right.
So double shift, and I was paying that mortgage off. Now people complain of 6%,
Yeah.
18%, 21%. Pay that thing off. I was living in the basement apartment, renting the upstairs, and that was paying my mortgage. And the money I was making, I was allocating, so much for me, so much for the family, so much for paying the mortgage. In 5 years, we had that paid off, and then we brought the whole family of 9 people over.
Wow.
So, and I was 24 by then. I quit my job and I went back to school full time to get my degree in business.
Wow. Wow, you were like laser focused. I mean,
The
yeah, I
focus
can see
is,
what you're saying. It's amazing because even when you go back and you talk about the priest and you're there and the priest is like telling you're like, why can't I just go straight to God? Like, why
exactly.
do I like even need it? I mean, it's just it's like
Literally, I knew that was the way to go. And it's
yeah. And it
for
wasn't even like you were surrounded by people telling you something different. You just felt this in your soul, like
there
in
never
your
was any
mind.
pressure to go to church or anything like that. And
Yeah.
it was
And then
all
even just taking care of your family and you and your brother, there and finding a safe space, out of where you're at, to be able to bring them and, all of that. Like that is like rare, okay, to say the least, but it's also like really empowering to know that it's such a young age, people can be called to make a difference, think for yourself. And so I feel like that's what you do, is you give license to people to be like, you don't have to just follow the ways of, the way society says, or religion, or your family, or the way you grew up. I mean, God made you for you,
Exactly. Well, there was a tremendous pressure to get a job in the trades. There was a
Yeah.
huge need at that time, and I said, no, I want to go to school and become a business person. I
Yeah.
want this. And everybody's saying, come on, you just came from Italy. You have to learn the language. The people that are born here can't even do that.
Yeah.
And what makes you think you can do it? Because most of my family were, first generation immigrants, even though my
Right.
grandparents, my great grandfathers were in this city in Thunder Bay, Ontario. It
Yeah.
used to be Port Arthur and Fort William, the
Oh, wow.
center of the continent. In 1894, that was the first generation that came over. Both of my great grandfathers and their two sons, my grandfathers, were here at the turn of the century in
Wow.
1901, 1904. They were on the census, and I was able to find the records when they landed in New York, and then on the ship, there was their names when they arrived, who they came with, because I'd done a lot of work. Like, I'm really into discovering where I came from.
Oh, yeah.
I've done research in the genealogy. I found the coat of arms of my family that was registered in Florence in 1203.
Oh,
I
wow.
found a Pullia that is in the book of the Catholic Church of the Saints. He's a beato. Beato means the step before sainthood.
Okay.
In 1265, is in Perugia. He was a disciple of Saint Dominic. So in the family, there is the saints. You get the knight,
Yeah.
the cross of Malta, my coat of arms, and then there was a diplomat who signed the peace accord between Florence and Siena. They were at war at that time.
Wow.
So I figured at any given time I can be the diplomat. I spent 25 years in politics.
Yes.
Or I can be the saint to go in meditation. I can be the warrior.
I love that.
Shotokan karate.
Yes, all the things. Well, that's
Yes.
probably why, because what you do is it's such a young age, so far out of the box, especially like even just our culture now.
Yeah.
Everyone just seems to have to be handheld through a lot of things. They don't realize like that, how really empowered they are even at those young ages.
I remember telling my relatives in the 80s and the 90s that you are ruining the next generation. Mr. Prince, the princess, and these guys, they put him on a pedestal.
Yeah.
You held it by the hand. They're not learning.
Mm-hmm,
they don't know what perseverance means.
Yes.
They don't know how to fall down and get up again, because at the end of the day, you never fail. You only fail when you stop. When you stop, you don't get up anymore. Yeah. Like when you're a kid, how long did it take you to learn? I remember learning how to tie my shoelaces. It was a little tough at the beginning. And then I remember, okay, that's easy now. Yeah. So whatever, there's no limit in what we can learn. No limit. You can continuously progress, but you got to go and do it. Not somebody else do it for you.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
I was never sheltered, and I learned, and I still learn. Like, we're always learning. There's no stop. That's why even it doesn't matter what age you are. If your mind is open to learning, your spirit is young. We'll always be young. We'll always feel younger than we actually are, because it's the spirit that talks, and we should listen to it a little more.
Yes. No, so good. So good. So what, because you are so intentional, and even the work you do, you give so much of yourself on, like with your books and, all that you do you have like a certain, like morning ritual or miracle morning? Like, is there a certain way that you start your day off to stay just really focused and grounded in all the things?
Yes. Well, when I was training for the martial arts, there are certain things you do to help you keep that balance between mind, body, and spirit. Okay. The spiritual component in the traditional Shotokan karate is very, very important. It's not even a question of self-defense. It's a question of integrating all three in a way that allows you to use those techniques and strategies as a way of life. So it became a way of life to me. It
Okay.
becomes a second nature. I was like tuned in already. As soon as I started to practice the martial arts at 14 with jujitsu, and then at 17, the traditional Shotokan. And the first thing is the breathing part.
Okay.
Well, there's always a spirit of gratitude
Oh, that's good.
and an appreciation of life. You're here for a purpose. Make the best of it.
Yes.
Don't think that you're here because you wanted to be here. And we can talk about that in the spiritual dimension. You made a choice. A lot of people don't understand that. They made a choice to be here. So accept your responsibility. And accountability is huge, and nobody wants to be held accountable. It's always
Right.
somebody else's problem, but that's another part. So the ritual is the breathing techniques. And you can do that in so many ways. I can go for a walk, like the walking meditation is huge because it allows you to be out in the open, get your vitamin D. Mornings are best, but even evenings when things are quiet.
Right.
I used to go for walks at midnight.
Nice.
It just I couldn't see the road. I remember once looking at the yellow lane on the road.
Ah.
And then all at once there was some other crazy guy like me coming the other way. We almost bumped into each other.
Oh gosh.
I
Yeah.
remember I used to go and do the night meditation because I used to work the night shift when I was working at the grain elevators. And 4 o'clock, when everything is quiet and the veil is kind of dropping between the other dimension, and you really tune in and you're starting to really fall asleep. That was the best part when the sun rises.
Yes.
It's amazing. So if you can find a place when you see the sunrise and you see the magic moment when you actually can stay between, the third dimension of the material world to the fourth dimension or the fifth, when you actually are an altered state in a multidimensional universe, you actually can be here while you're there. People think that they have to go into another dimension and disappear. No. Yeah. It's a state of mind. You change your mind, you're changing the way you see everything. Yeah. The world, right? Yeah. It's a perception. The universe is just like a mirror. And in our training in the traditional martial arts, there's a lot of that. Right. In the traditional way where you're reflecting when we're fighting and there's a punch coming at you 100 kilometers an hour, you don't have time to think. Right. So you have to instinctively go with the flow. Yeah. Okay. So is in life. Preparing for an exam, going for an interview. Those rituals will help you be in the moment. Yeah. Because unfortunately, our mind is programmed for fear. The fear to be eaten by a beast, of the fear of failure, the fear of rejection. So you need to bring your mind to a calm state and be in the moment. When you're in the moment, and there's a second part, is the ego part, because the ego part will cloud your mind and you can't see clearly what's in front of you. Therefore, you create all kinds of illusions of fear, and then you're all disturbed. It's like you can't see yourself unless the reflection of your spirit is clear like a mirror, like a lake. Oh, that's good. When you look in a lake and it's not disturbed, it's peaceful, like it becomes a mirror. You see the reflection. The water is disturbed because of society is disturbed. You look in the water, you don't see yourself anymore, but you're still there. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's powerful. That's what we think. We think, what happened? Where am I? Yeah. Who am I? All these things coming at you, you lose your grounding, you lose your balance, you lose your center. And in my book, The Art of Life Management, the big thing, the most important thing is balance. Oh, that's good. Yes. Balance, huge. Yes. Balance. You cannot counter everything that comes at you in life, all the stresses, all the aggravations, demands in political life. I spent 25 years in politics. Not enough time, not enough capacity to respond to every demand. I had 100 to 200 messages per day. Ooh. Phone calls, and my commitment was to respond to them all before midnight. Wow. Every night. Rarely I missed it. So I became good at it very fast because now we got the iPhone, the tools.
Yes.
I go to a wedding, I got 5 requests. I go to a funeral, I got 6 requests to help people.
I love it.
So we put a system in place where I would have a counselor's inquiry, give me your
Mm.
address, phone number, the issue, and I send it in to the appropriate departments, and they would follow up. And then, I could deal with a lot of things. A lot of things I had to do myself.
Yeah.
Like respond. So you learn how to be centered. And if you're in management, if you're a CEO, if you are a single mother, taking care of your kids, your family, your career, you need to be able to manage multitasking,
I
take
love
care of
that.
all that stuff.
So
And
when
the way
you
you,
decided to go, that's why I love your story, because you're very spiritual and intuitive and intentional. Okay. So in your life has always been, when you're younger, you've always adhered to that lifestyle yourself personally.
yeah,
And then, then you took this turn to go into the business world and like do traditional college and be in politics and do that life, you know what I'm saying? Which is so different. But could you, when you were with like different colleagues or even just speaking and all that, did you feel like, this is my question, because I have a lot of audience members that struggle with this. Like, they're career people, but they're also very spiritual,
yeah,
and they sometimes don't know how to, they want to be themselves, but they don't want to, they don't know
there's
how
an
to
internal
bring the
conflict.
two
Yeah,
together. Yeah.
yeah, there shouldn't be. Because, well, when I graduated, I was so happy. I got a job at Kimberly-Clark of Canada,
Oh,
out of town. I had to drive, come home on a weekend. I had an apartment there. Kimberly-Clark, I was a cost analyst, financial analyst. I got 4 promotions in 3 years. I
whoa.
was so happy to be working and doing the things I love to do,
Yeah.
and they were paying me for it. After 4 years of going to school, no money coming in, it was a struggle.
Yes,
A lot of discipline that were required then.
for sure.
So, and I was in a small town, 2,000 people, and I was practicing to get my black belt. So there was a dojo there, and I was practicing 3 hours a night for my black belt,
Whoa.
plus working 12, 14 hours a day. Like, that's all I was doing.
Yeah.
And that's when I was able to go to the nationals. After spending a week in the bush with the national team, I got there and got a silver medal
Oh, wow. Amazing.
out of 25 people. And the only reason I lost the gold, because my 25 friends that came with me from our region of the country, I was the only one standing after 6 fights. I kept winning. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And they were going, Frank, gold, Frank, gold. And they broke my flow. I was in the flow.
Ooh.
I didn't even care who was in front of me, big
Yeah.
guy, I paused in my mind for a split second. I became conscious, because all at once I felt the responsibility of winning the gold. That's when I learned that the true meaning of detachment. You got to detach yourself from
Yes.
the
Oh, that's
outcome.
good. That's
And
good.
it's a huge spiritual concept in Buddhism, the middle way of
Yeah.
Buddha, detachment in Hinduism, across every major spiritual, even religion, even in the Bible, in the gospel, when Jesus said, what's to you? You're going to worry about tomorrow, when the Heavenly Father takes care of the birds of the air.
Right.
You're worrying about what's tomorrow? Like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry
In
about
other
it.
words, you were trying to say, stay in the moment, buddy. That's where the action is.
That's
That's where
so
your
good.
power is, in
Yes.
the moment.
Yes.
The eternal magical moment, call it a 0 point of meditation. If you can stay in the moment and not worry about the future, not worry about what happened in the past that's conditioning you, don't let the past dictate your future.
Right.
The moment will give you everything you need.
That is incredible. I love that. And I love the visual that you give us, where you're, a black belt, you're doing all this, you're going for it. You've got your buddies behind you, the gold medal, what ends up happening.
Well, I lost that one.
Yeah, but it does make sense
because I stopped, and then I became
yeah,
conscious. The other guy took advantage, and I couldn't recover. But it's okay. Silver is fine. I learned a lot. You know, sometimes it's not winning
Right.
the race, winning that specific moment. It's winning in life. That means it's not a winning the trophy. I believe that there are no mistakes. So
Right.
the first thing, going back to your original question, what do you do when you get up in the morning? First thing I tell myself, I'm here for a reason.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. I'm grateful for all my experiences, good, the bad, and the ugly. There are no mistakes. There are only experiences.
Yeah.
The mistake is when you don't learn from the experience.
Right. No,
If you
that's
don't
good.
learn from the experience, you're going to keep making that mistake because that's
Right.
a universal law, the law of cause and effect. It's that simple.
That's good.
There's law of cause and effect. If you don't learn, you're bound to repeat it. And you're
No,
going
I
to
love
repeat it
that.
enough times until eventually you're in your mind, you go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I think I've been here before, especially in relationships, right? Like
Yes.
we keep attracting the wrong people in our lives. Well, because you haven't learned your lesson. Those people
Right.
teach you the lesson. So you say, thank you for those who have actually hurt you. Thank you for having taught me the lesson. And now I'm a better person. If you learn the lesson, you move on. You know, better outcomes, better decisions. You want a better life? Make better choices.
Yeah.
And how do you decide what's a better choice? By learning from your experiences. So there are, and be grateful for all the experiences. And that's what I practice in the morning. Obviously, there's a physiological part. Go for a walk in the morning. Infrared rays really help a lot to calm your mind. The breathing technique. It's basically walking. You're walking, and as you walk, normal. Don't go too fast. Just walk normally. Not too slow. Breathe in and count to 10. Breathe in, count to 10 in your mind. And then breathe out, count to 10 as you walk. Now, as you're walking, if you're not in good shape, you probably make it to 5, and then you feel like you're gasping for air. Start with 4. Start with what's comfortable for you.
Oh, good.
4, 5, and then eventually you go to 6, 7. By the time you hit 10 and you've done 20 minutes, a car may be going by, missing you by a couple of inches. You go, oh, what was that? You're going to be so relaxed.
I love that.
It'll blow your mind.
I love it. Do y'all hear that? We've got some homework for today. We're all going to go ahead and do meditation.
And if you need something fast, I will give you another little trick.
Yeah.
Because the Navy SEALs use that. The CIA operatives use that. When you're under tremendous stress, I use that before. In martial arts, we do something slightly different. I do dynamic tension. Give you an example. Dynamic tension, when I compress, I go, you channel. I breathe in through the diaphragm, and I really squeeze as much oxygen as I can in my cells and my body very quickly.
Very interesting.
Forget the caffeine.
Powerful.
This is if you do a couple of minutes of that, something happens in your body. Even I can figure it out. I'm going to eventually figure it out. I have an idea, but something amazing happens in your body. Some people say, it pushes your kundalini up.
Ooh, yeah.
Your spine, opens your pineal glands. And I watch the YouTube videos where they explain all of that. And I'm going, oh, look, I don't need to know how electricity works. I know when I turn the switch on, the power comes on.
Yes.
So I know the stuff works. I know that when I go under extreme cold weather, extreme heat, the primordial brain part, the primordial nature of our body comes out. Survival instinct, and you do amazing. That's why the old masters used to go under the waterfalls. Ooh. Extremely cold. You go there for 10, 15. This guy used to do Tai Chi dynamic tension for half an hour. And then somebody can hit them with a baseball bat, then it bounces off the body.
Wow.
I've done it. Something happens in your blood flow. It changes almost the chemical composition of your cells.
Interesting.
They're hard like steel.
Wow.
Something happens. So
that is amazing.
The old masters used to be able to take any punches, any hit in your body.
Yeah.
If you hit here, it's different. There's no muscle there but there's another little trick. You tense up at the right moment, a split second tense up, boom. So the power bounces back. The
Wow.
dynamic power that hits you bounces back. Anyway, that's for another day.
Very interesting. All
But
these
the
little nuggets.
rituals,
I had no
the
idea that we
rituals,
were going to be into, all of this for sure. I mean, I'm learning a lot about a lot of different topics that I had
but
like.
there is a life part of that. Those are the techniques you learn, the foundational part of the traditional martial arts that allows you to balance mind, body, and spirit. Because you can control your mind, you work out your body. If you don't have the spirit, which gives you the power, perseverance, you're going nowhere. You're going to give up.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
And not enough people are training their spirit. The spiritual dimension is just as important. You never hear about it. Everybody says, the body, the mind. Unless you have the spirit, the tripod cannot sit on 3 legs. You will not stand when the hurricanes of life come to blow you away.
True. That's so
Like
true.
COVID.
Let's get solidly grounded.
Exactly.
So I just have to say, I know that you all are blown away like I am, audience, but Frank not only has taken his time out to really just speak into our lives, today, and really just give us some solid nuggets to really go on, but he also has a free gift that we want to offer you, and it's a consultation. Why don't you share just a little bit about that, Frank? And we'll actually have all the information below so you all can contact and, get everything that we're talking about here today. So don't feel like you have to write everything down. We'll have that for you.
Well, I've been writing the book, The Art of Life Management. I have already posted quite a bit of information on my website, frankpullia.com, frankpullia.com. You can go there anytime. There's a blog. I love to share my knowledge because I think there's no other motivation for me. There's no motivation for money. I don't need it. I'm doing well. I'm a financial analyst. I invest in the stock market. There's also, I've done well. It's to share what we learned, because to me, the experience of sharing enriches everybody's life, including mine. You can't give what you don't have.
That's good.
Remember, the process of me sharing this enriches my life first. Yeah. So you can go anytime and read my articles and get whatever you can out of this. But if you think you need a little more help, I can give you a half an hour free consultation. We'll talk about your specific needs, your specific issues, where then you can determine if I can help you or not.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. We're all like Frank fans. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And honestly, just being here and sharing all that you have is just so empowering. And I also want to reiterate, it doesn't matter what age you are, don't think that if you're starting to feel like, how come I'm the only one at this age reading this book or doing this or making this happen? There's a reason for it. And you're not alone in your journey. And just like what Frank was saying, go and get the resources, reach out, grab a hold of his free consultation. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Is there something you want to leave as far as the
final comment? Remember, spirit has no limitations.
Ooh, yes.
No bounds. The power that you have within you is unlimited. It's the mind that blocks the potentiality for coming out, because we have been conditioned by friends, family, the world, cultural norms. Go in, cultivate your spirit, and you will become aware of unlimited potential. That's the only thing I can leave you with. There's no limitations.
Well, that's definitely foundational. And that's a perfect line to lean on. You all, thank you so much for being here with us. Frank, you're just amazing. You're just amazing.
Thank you.
Everyone have an incredible day.
Thanks.